You went?
Okay, we will call to order the regular meeting of the Batavia City Council for Monday, August 7th, 2017. I would ask that you all please rise for a brief invocation to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, as the City Council meets in regular session, we are acknowledging that unlike our last meeting where the waters of the Fox River were rising above almost to the banks of downtown Batavia, they have receded and Mother Nature has taken her course and everything is back to normal. So we are thankful for that blessing upon ourselves and all those along the Fox River who were certainly watching with great challenge as that event occurred. As always tonight, we want to remember those from our community who are serving on foreign soil in defense of the liberties of the United States of America, and we just ask a special blessing be showered upon each and every one of them as they go about their vital mission. As always, we ask for guidance and understanding and direction as we act on the various issues of business before us, knowing that at the end of the day, our goal here is to make Batavia a greater and grander place for all of those in the future to proudly call their home. We ask for all these blessings. Amen.
Amen.
Alderman Brown, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask the city clerk to please call the roll.
Brown.
Here.
Rosado.
Here.
Atek.
Here.
Stark.
Here.
Chancet.
Here.
Wolf.
Here.
Salvati.
Here.
O'Brien.
Here.
Callahan.
Here.
Meitzler.
Here.
Mueller.
Here.
Ewer.
Here.
Saron.
Here.
McFadden.
Here.
Motion, all those on the council are present and accounted for, so we have the entire council here tonight. So that's good to have. Moving then to item number 4, items to be removed, added, or changed on the agenda. Alderman Atek, you have anything?
I don't have anything this evening.
Okay, moving to item 5, the consent agenda. Alderman Atek.
The consent agenda reads as follows. Accept and place on file Committee of the Whole minutes for July 18th, 2017. May financials, June financials. Approvals, July 28th, 2017. Payroll in the amount of $810,267.44. Accounts payable check register, $1,853,632.19. Approval for a Class F liquor license for Water Street Studios Waterline Riders event on September 2017 through May 2018. Approval of a Class F liquor license for Water Street Studios Live Art Series events. Approvals for August 17th through July 2018. Approval of Class F liquor license for Water Street Studios Gallery opening reception events September 2017, August 2017 through July 2018. Approval of Class G liquor license for Bar Evolution Half Marathon at the Peg Bond Center on August 27th, 2017. I move that we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Atek, second by Alderman McFadden for the approval of the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? Questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Atek.
Aye.
Stark.
Aye.
Chancet.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Salvati.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Mueller. Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
McFadden.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved, 14 yes, no no's, none absent. Moving then to item number 6, matters from the public for items that are not on tonight's agenda. Do we have anything? Mr. Peoples, if you'd come forward and give us your name and address for the clerk, please.
David Peebles, 525 North Avenue, Batavia, lifelong resident. I've been coming to these meetings quite a bit lately, and there's a few issues I have. Probably the biggest issue is we just passed another liquor license here, and I want to know if the chief has had any classes to instruct the people about carding these incidents. They're going to probably be young people, I know, come down to the art studio, which is a good thing for the young people, but you're having another liquor license, which we have over, I think, 50 now. We got another one here at the theater, and I'm opposed to that. And we just had the community dinner, which was for a good thing probably, but then no one under 21 could go to that. And I don't know how you could call it community dinner when it was that. Plus the fact it was $60. Some of us senior citizens are restricted on our money funds, probably couldn't afford that. So my main point here tonight is I wish the new chief of police would have look into these things and not let younger people get these go into these events which are detrimental to the city of Batavia. Thank you.
David, can I just respond to that? Because I appreciate you bringing it up. As you know, Batavia doesn't take lightly the issuance of liquor licenses, and all these ones that we are approving here tonight are basically certain specific events. It's not like it's a whole year liquor license, so you understand this is just an event that's going to happen within a month's time or an opening of a gallery or whatever. So these are not permanent, but what I am very pleased is that the Batavia Police Department, number one, we require everybody to be, that's going to be giving away this liquor or selling it, has to be what they call Bassett trained, which means they have to have a certification that they have to take the class and show us that they know how to check for addresses and IDs and all that good stuff. But the thing that I'm most pleased about the Batavia Police Department is that on every license we have in town, we perform, I guess, semi-annual checks on all these people where we, the police department, bring in an underage person and we stand there and watch them try to buy a case of or a bottle of beer or whatever. And if they do, then we immediately arrest the licensee who was doing this sale. And then immediately after that, we have a hearing with myself as liquor commissioner, and we assess a fine. And our people are pretty diligent in the idea of making sure that we don't have a lot of teenage exposure. So if nothing else, every liquor licensee in this town has to be really scared very seriously about failing a compliance check by the Batavia Police Department. And they secondly have to be very concerned about what I, as liquor commissioner, am going to do to them, because when we fine them, we then put that money in a special fund, and that money is held and is given back to the police department for educational opportunities that they may have to bring in a speaker to talk about alcohol abuse, drug or alcohol abuse, or we try to do events that hopefully help to bring down the ability of kids to access liquor. And specifically, one of the things that we fund every year is the post-prom party that's held for Batavia High School after the prom, so that it goes till 5 o'clock in the morning and everybody's tired and goes home, and there's absolutely no liquor at all found at that. And we, I think, do a great job with the police department to ensure that this is what we do. But I checked today, and because of the actions of the Batavia Police Department, your speech was very timely, because I just literally checked this afternoon. Right now in the liquor, I'll call it fine fund that we have in the community, we have $8,750.
Wow.
So we've certainly have greatly enforced this ordinance over the last few years and have built up a nice little fund for the police department to have for drug and alcohol abuse education.
Well, thank you for that. But I do have one response to that. A lot of times you waive the fees. And there was recently something held at Batavia Park District East Side. I had checked into it. They never had a license, and it wasn't for me. They wouldn't have probably got the license, and yet they would have been able to do this. But they did get the license, but you think you waived the fee and you waived whatever it is for indefinitely.
Well,
So
I mean,
I think what you should do on some of these things is jack up the price of the liquor license, plus on some of these, like the Water Street here, charge them a fee. And then you might not have quite as much problem. I'm glad we got the $8,000 and so forth. Now, I know one other thing doesn't pertain to this at all, but I know the alderman who died up in St. Charles, Alderman Martin, he was saying he was real concerned about that because of the image that St. Charles was getting. Now, I've lived here all my life, and I know Mayor Shelkey has too, and we're concerned about what can happen here in the town. I know many years back we had problems when I was with the Baptist Church, and we had some problems there and so forth. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? All right, moving then to item number 7, which is a presentation tonight on Bulldogs Unleashed Encore for 2018, and we're glad to welcome back Steve McKenna, who's been here before us before.
Little fun to start your meeting. The collaborative effort of the Batavia Foundation for Educational Excellence, Batavia Library Foundation, and the Parks Foundation that enjoyed great fun and success in 2011 is returning for 2018. I'm happy to announce that the return of the Bulldogs Unleashed. Proceeds from this effort are reinvested back in Batavia to enhance schools, libraries, and the parks. And Jan Wright is here representing the Educational Foundation, and George Sheets is here to represent the Library Foundation. We're certainly pleased to have the cooperation of organizations that help make Batavia a great place to be. After all, this project is many things, including a public art exhibition, as well as a fundraising effort and source of economic activity. Thanks to Batavia Main Street, Batavia Chamber of Commerce, City of Batavia, as well as the Park District, the Library, and the School District for embracing and helping us to promote Bulldogs Unleashed 2018. And each entity is also planning ways to integrate the project in their planning in fun and creative ways to engage the citizens of Batavia and attract visitors to our town next summer. Thanks to Water Street Studio and BEI Properties, the project will begin with an introduction at the second Friday art event on Friday, August 11th, 6 to 9. There'll be remarks at 7 o'clock at Water Street Studios. Bulldogs Unleashed partners will be on hand at the dock, which is accessible from Water Street Studios, to talk to prospective artists and sponsors, as well as all interested in the project. Please join us to recognize the artistic energy here in Batavia. The dogs will be unleashed on the streets from Memorial Day to Labor Day 2018, with a celebratory event in September of 2018 where we'll celebrate the event and auction off a number of the Bulldogs. What we need now are artists to bring their creativity to the Bulldog statues and sponsors to make this effort work. In-kind sponsors are already helping out, with Boyce Body Works agreeing to do the clear coating of the dogs again. That was a lot of fun. Michael Barton will be our official portrait photographer. BEI Properties, again, is providing some space for the kickoff event, and BFC Print is helping with our printing needs. So information is available at bulldogsunleashed.org. We also have, of course, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hopefully everybody will start to follow that. I know the city is starting to push it out through their social media properties as well. I do have sponsorship form information that I'd be happy to leave if anybody's interested in learning what the opportunities are for contributing and participating with the program. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Anybody in the council have any questions? I just want to let you know we've agreed to let them have the 2 dogs that were on the bridge for the event, just as demonstrations of varieties of ideas of what people could be. So if you go to the event and see the 2 dogs there, we still own them, and we're still going to have a discussion at one of the coming cow meetings with all of you about where we, the city council, should put our 2 dogs on display, because I've had people stop in here specifically looking for the dog that looks like he's made out of limestone. People wanted to have their grandchildren's picture taken with them or whatever is going on. So there is a demand and ongoing for presence of the dogs around town. So
Great. Well, looking forward to everybody's support over the coming year. Thank you.
thank you. All right. Moving to item number 8, which is Ordinance 17-53, an ordinance declaring surplus property sales thereof. Who's got this one?
I believe I do, Your Honor.
Alderman Wolf.
Thank you. This is surplus property, a Chevy truck, Ford truck, and another Ford truck that will be taken out of service and sold at auction, either selling out through the public auction site, or the staff will sell those. If anybody has any questions? Make the motion that we approve ordinance 17-53, declaring surplus property of the 3 vehicles.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Wolf, second by Alderman Metzger. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Wolf.
Aye.
Salvati.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
McFadden.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Rosato.
Aye.
Atak.
Aye.
Stark.
Aye.
Jansen.
Ordinance 17-53 is approved, 14 yes, no nos, none absent. Moving to item number 9, which is ordinance 1754, modifying Plan Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals appointment terms. Brown, Atek, who's?
Brown.
Maybe we should just ask Joel Strassman to introduce it.
Yes, thank you very much. Currently, the Plan Commission and Zoning Board members have term lengths of 5 years. The City Council wanted that changed on May 23rd. This matter was discussed at committee. There was a decision to reduce the length of the terms, and it was decided to reduce it to 3 years. The ordinance in front of you would effectively change the term length of Plan Commissioners and Zoning Board members to 3 years. There are some additional items in the zoning code that would need to be cleaned up, some housekeeping items to line it up with this ordinance, and we would undertake that at a later date.
So with that, Your Honor, I'll move for approval of ordinance 17-54.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Brown, second by Alderman Mueller for the approval of ordinance 1754. Any discussion?
I had some questions, Your Honor, about the exhibit 1754 for the Plan Commission. Is it still staggering terms, Joel? Is that what I read?
No, the Plan Commission and Zoning Board, when they were established or reestablished in 2010 with adoption of the current code, we had done staggered terms at that point. And we are all through with the staggered terms, so every appointment or reappointment moving forward would be 3 years with this ordinance in place.
So the attachment is how it is today, not how it will be in the future?
Well, the attachment is how it will be. What we went back to was to show what took place at with the initial appointments. We are now clear of that period.
Okay,
So all appointments would be 3 years.
okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood completely. Thank you.
Anybody else? Clerk, call the roll.
Brown.
Aye.
Rosato.
Aye.
Atak.
Aye.
Stark.
Aye.
Jansen.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Salvati.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
McFadden.
Aye. Motion is approved, 14 yes, no nos, none absent. Okay, now that we've done that, as most of you know, we do have one current vacancy on the Batavia Plan Commission. That was created when Ed Weiss, who had been on for a number of years, retired early because of health reasons and moved out of the 4th Ward. And it's been a long-term policy of myself, which I know was previously endorsed by the City Council, that we try to have at least one person on the Plan Commission from each one of the 4 quadrants of town: northwest, southwest, northeast, and southeast. And so Ed Weiss was representing the northeast side of town, and it's everything north of Wilson Street and east of the river is where that appointment came from. And so I have been waiting to find somebody, and we got through all this other conversation we had on the Plan Commission to appoint somebody to that position, and I'm very pleased tonight to submit to you the name of Bill McGrail, who lives over on Columbia Street, which is on the northeast side of town. And Bill has been a very active person in Batavia. Rather recently, he's been involved in the education community. He currently works at the Illinois Mathematics and Science Academy, and yesterday he was one of the ones running the complimentary or community dinner down the middle of River Street. And he certainly has, I think, been somebody who brings a lot of talents to the community and a lot of viewpoints, and so I would therefore like to submit his name for the appointment to the 7th member on the Plan Commission and ask for a motion of confirmation.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Brown, second by Alderman Savati. Any discussion? Alderman?
I'm just curious, when we decided to do Ordinance 1754, we weren't really holding up the other appointments, we just wanted some clarification, and now that that's been taken care of, there are 2 other names that we do need to
Right.
approve. Will there be an appointment for those 2 coming?
I will be bringing forth some names, but I didn't want to do anything right now because we got the Campana thing specifically, and I didn't want to dump a whole bunch of new people onto the Plan Commission with the idea that you've got this Campana thing going, and that hearing's already begun, and we've already heard testimony from 50 witnesses. So Bill's going to have to do a little catch-up, but I didn't want to, whatever we decide to do, I didn't want to bring a whole bunch of new people on if, in fact, we weren't. My inclination would be not to appoint somebody different than is already there, but I just thought we should get this one going so we have a full Plan Commission.
Just to make sure we forgot about them.
Right, that'll be coming up. So. Any other discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Brown.
Aye.
Rosato.
Aye.
Atack.
Aye.
Stark. Jansit.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Salvati.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
McFadden.
Aye.
Motion's approved, 14 yes, no no's, none absent. Okay, moving to item number 11, which is amending the zoning code for temporary signs. Alderman Brown, do you have this?
Yeah, I would like to defer to Alderman Stark again on this. She presented at the committee of the whole meeting, so.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Alderman Brown. On the Committee of the Whole meeting of July 25th, it was voted in favor 7-3 of a motion that approved Ordinance 1746 with an amendment that allowed temporary signs in commercial and industrial districts to be erected at the applicant's own risk, provided that they submitted all permit information to the city prior to erecting the sign. Staff has revised the ordinance to reflect the changes approved by the committee, and below in the memo that we received is all of the details surrounding that. So I would move that we approve Ordinance 1746, amending zoning code regarding temporary signs.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Stark, second by Alderman Brown for the approval of Ordinance 17-46 regarding temporary signs. Any discussion on that? Alderman
Just want
Callahan.
to clarify, is that with or without the approval of the July 25th count?
It was, I'm not sure I understand. The vote at the cow was 7-3, and then it's been amended to include the changes that we made at the cow.
Right, just the way it was phrased as the motion, it just said approve 17-46. There are 2 choices for there in the staff memo, one without the amendment and one as approved on July 25th. I just wanted for clarification.
So this would be the amended ordinance
Thank you.
that we would be voting on, not the original, but the amended ordinance with your amendment from the cow.
Thank you.
And I guess I'd like to say that I am very pleased with this at your own risk statement that we're kind of sending forth here with this, because I will tell you that one of the more challenging things that I have faced with rather recently, when you're the mayor, you get all these calls for somebody looking to do something a little bit different than what maybe they should be doing it. And in the last week, I got a call from one of the, what I would call one of the good causes in town that surfaces every year. And they wanted to tell me that they wanted to put up a whole bunch of signs. And I said, well, you know, we're going to have this thing at your own risk. And you can put them up, but I can't promise you. What they were wanting for was for me to wave the magic wand of the mayor and give them some kind of extraordinary permission that they could keep these signs up and nobody would do anything. And I said, well, number one, you know, we got to kind of treat everybody the same here. We can't be showing favoritism, and, you know, you're a great cause, and there's probably some specific places, given who you're trying to reach, that you should put your signs. But to just go out and blanketly throw them around town, I'm not sure that that's going to do you any good. you're probably going to lose a lot of money because you'll pay for something that will be on the street for 24 hours till Rhonda comes driving down the street, and that's the end of you. And so I've been asked within the last 5 days for special permission to put up signs, and I have to treat everybody the same, that we have to treat this thing the special way it is. We had a situation, I remember last year, where we had some business folks in town that came in and were trying to advertise some stuff, and one group put up 76 signs in the community of Batavia. And I'm not going to name names, but there were 76 signs scattered around both the east and the west sides for this one particular operation. I mean, talk about overkill and overdoing it and wasting your money, because I got to tell you, by the next, they put them up on Saturday morning, and by Monday morning, Rhonda had 74 of the 76 signs in the back of her truck. So, sign poster beware. The Batavia Community Development Department is not going to allow you to freely advertise yourself around our community. And then the other side of the coin is the mayor, I get the calls from some irate citizen that somebody's just posted a sign in their yard or out in their parkway, and they want somebody to come out and take the sign down. So more than once when I go downstairs, Rhonda's busy, I'll just get in the car and go out and get the sign, because these are a real testy situation for a lot of people. And you just have to let your conscience be your guide, or your actions forbear you to know that you may very well have a quick resolve to your posting the signs. And I don't know, no other town seems to have figured out a way to do it that clears all that up, because it's just kind of a freelance effort.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Alderman Stark.
I had voted against this amended ordinance, and the more I thought about it and the immediacy of it, in my mind now changes, because I know that before you erect a sign anywhere, you need to call Julie to make sure that you're not hitting anything underground. So I'm hoping that the people who are putting up signs will submit their application and call Julie at the same time, so it will it'll all work out together. So that's why now I will support this ordinance, because I don't think that we're going to get in the inbox and a sign erected within the hour. So there's some other things that go on behind the scenes.
All right. Okay, no further discussion. I'd ask the clerk to call the roll on ordinance 1746, amending the zoning code regarding temporary signs.
Stark?
Aye.
Jansit?
Aye.
Wolf?
No.
Salvati?
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
Callahan?
Aye.
Meitzler?
Aye.
Mueller?
Aye.
Ewer?
Aye.
Saron?
No.
McFadden?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Rosado?
Aye.
Atack?
Aye.
So that is a vote of 12 yes, 2 no. So ordinance is approved. Okay, moving to item
Excuse
number...
me, Mayor, before we move on, I'd like, based on that ordinance, I wasn't necessarily for this, but I appreciate how we kind of worked and met in the middle. Is there a way we can put on the schedule to, there's something in there for 60 days to get the application under, and there's some questions I have, but can we put on the agenda in like 120 days to review how it's going with the application and the process and that type of thing? Thanks.
It's a good point. I would think that would be a worthy exercise for us to go through. Because I think this will get some further feedback, and I know we got the representative of the Fox Valley Board of Realtors here, and there may be some actions from the real estate community too, so I think it would be good to have that conversation. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, moving to item 12, which is resolution 17-83-R, awarding a downtown grant to John Happel for 129 South Batavia Avenue. Chris?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't really have anything else to offer except to remind you that in the packet this week were the bids on the subject components of the project. So we had talked about not releasing any reimbursement funds until the bids were received, but I talked to John Apple, who's here tonight again, and he was agreeable to accelerate the bids so that the council wouldn't even vote on the grant itself until all the bid requirements were met. So I'm happy that was done in the last week, and I don't have anything else to offer except to say that This is a classic TIF project in that the city is supporting a private investment in the downtown tax increment financing district, which is being supported by TIF funds, which is, per the statute, ideally what those funds are for. So I think it's, again, something we recommend. Obviously, the committee of the whole recommended unanimously, and Mr. Happel is here to answer any questions if you'd like. That's all I have.
Any questions? Alderman Callahan?
I just want to reiterate, as stated at the COW, this is an industry that's growing and is very profitable right now. So as far as meeting the return on investment for the TIF, I think is a good business model.
Yeah, not only will the property value escalate, but this is a really neat infill in what was otherwise, former barber shop, and we're meeting a demand of the marketplace, and just one more reason to come to downtown Batavia.
Yeah, I would just note, certainly everybody on the council is aware, this is the former Stash's Barbershop building in the middle of the block down there on South Batavia Avenue, and I think that the applicant already has done a nice job on some of the improvements as he's enacted down there, so it's been a pleasure just to see the kind of changing face of the place, and I've had several people in the community comment to me about how they liked what was kind of taking shape there, so appreciate his good efforts. Any other comments? Clerk, call the roll then?
I think we need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I move we approve Resolution 17-83-R supporting the application for the Downtown Improvement Grant.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Atek, second by Alderman Callahan for the approval of awarding the Downtown Improvement Grant for 129 South Batavia Avenue. Clerk, call the roll.
Atak?
Aye.
Stark?
Aye.
Janset?
Aye.
Wolf?
Aye.
Salvati?
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
Callahan?
Aye.
Meitzler?
Aye.
Mueller?
Aye.
Ewer?
Aye.
Saron?
Aye.
McFadden?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Rosato?
Aye.
Motion's approved, 14 yes, no no's, none absent. Okay, moving to item 13, which is Resolution 17-86-R, a policy for staff approval of contract change orders for the wastewater treatment facility Phase 1 rehabilitation project. Alderman O'Brien, do you have this?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. The wastewater treatment plant construction is underway, and project is being administered utilizing two forms of change order authorizations, a contract modification request and a change order. The CMRs are executed by staff, our consulting engineer, and the contractor. CMRs are used to document changes and to provide the contractor with assurance that changes are approved by staff and our engineer. CMRs are executed quickly and enable work to continue without delay. CMRs do not officially change the contract. The changes to the contract are administered by the COs themselves. COs are executed by staff, our consulting engineer, the contractor, and the mayor on behalf of the city. Throughout the course of the project, there will be both positive and negative CMRs and COs as work is added and deleted from the scope. Staff is recommending the following policy guidelines for approval of COs. COs shall be presented to the Committee of the Whole and Council once each month for approval. Staff is authorized to execute CMRs during the course of each month up to a net value of $100,000. If the net value of additions and deductions exceeds $100,000, then a CO shall be created and presented to the Committee of the Whole at the next possible meeting, even if that meeting occurs less than 1 month since the prior CO approval. In order to minimize construction delays, staff is authorized to approve the execution of work included on a CO that has been approved by the Committee of the Whole, but not yet approved by City Council. City Council retains the right to waive this authorization at any time. Staff feels the above guidelines will enable work to continue in the most efficient manner possible, while at the same time ensuring transparency and accountability of contract costs. So I would make a motion to pass Resolution 17-86R, policy for staff approval of contract change orders for the wastewater treatment facility Phase 1 rehabilitation project.
Second.
Moved by Alderman O'Brien, second by Alderman Rosato for the approval of Resolution 17-86-R for the wastewater treatment plant facilities rehabilitation project contract for change orders. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
O'Brien?
Aye.
Callahan?
Aye.
Meitzler?
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
McFadden.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Rosato.
Aye.
Atak.
Aye.
Stark.
Aye.
Chanzit.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Salvati.
Aye.
Resolution 17-86-R is approved, 14 yes, no nos, none absent. Okay, moving to item 14, which is Resolution 17-87-R, authorizing change order number 1 with William Brothers Construction Incorporated for Phase 1 wastewater treatment plant rehabilitation project in the amount of $68,439. Alderman O'Brien, do you have this?
Again, Your Honor, this is the first change order of the project. I'm sure there'll be a few others following. Just in the scope of work that's being presented, there's a lot of variables and a lot of unseen conditions. If you notice, so I'll just make a motion to pass Resolution 17-87-R, authorizing change order number 1 with William Brothers Construction, Inc. for the Phase 1 wastewater treatment plant rehabilitation project in the amount of $68,439.
Second. Moved by Alderman O'Brien, second by Alderman McFadden for the approval of Resolution 17-87-R, change order number 1 with William Brothers Construction Company for Phase 1 wastewater treatment plant rehabilitation project in the amount of $68,439. Any discussion?
I would just say, Your Honor, that you look on the change order itself, that we do have, some cost-saving measures that were taken and some change orders for unseen conditions. And so it's going to be a give and take throughout the project with all change orders. So it's just something that we'll be aware of.
Okay. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
McFadden.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Rosato.
Aye.
Atak.
Aye.
Stark.
Aye.
Chanzit.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Salvati.
Aye.
Okay. Motion's approved by a vote of 14 yes, no nos, none absent. Moving to item 15, which is Resolution 17-88-R, approving contract with Schramm Construction Incorporated for Government Center window replacement and masonry repairs not to exceed $1,143,167.30. Who's got this one?
I do, Your Honor.
Alderman Wolf?
Thank you. This is the replacement of all the windows in the entire building at City Hall, 96 of them, tuck pointing, limestone masonry in areas, and window sill replacements estimated at the time as 45. And new interior window blinds and other miscellaneous related work, typically drywall around the interior of the windows. We had 2 bids for this project, which were competitive. One at $1,039,000 or $39,243, and the other one at $1,487,153. This will be over a 3-year period, so it's been split up into thirds, so that we don't have to have any budget amendments or anything else to get this done. And I think it's going to be a welcome change to this building. I think everybody will be impressed by the windows that we chose to go in here, and I'm really excited to see this happen. Take care of this building. Any questions? Not, I'll make the motion that we approve Resolution 17-88-R, Batavia Government Center window replacement and masonry repair approval, a contract with Schramm Construction Incorporated of St. Charles for an amount not to exceed $1,143,167.30.
Second.
Motion and second for the approval of Resolution 1788-R. Any discussion? Alderman O'Brien?
And they are going to furnish performance bonds every year?
Yes.
For the 3
each and
years?
every year with the contract amount that's in that budget year, they would do the bond for that individual contract. So we'll be approving. I don't know if we have to approve those again each year, or how we'll handle that. Gary's here to, will we approve another contract every year for this, for the individual components of it?
In 2019, we'll be bringing back to you those contracts for those years.
Okay.
Basically approval of the
you'll have approved the general budget, but at that point in time, you'll approve the actual scope of work to move forward.
Quick question too.
Somebody?
And we'll know in 2018 as to what the prices will be for that third year?
Yes, we covered at committee of the whole, the first 2-year window prices are fixed by Anderson. They've committed to those first 2 years. By 2018, we'll know what the third year is going to be. So we can make a decision if we want to purchase all the windows that second year at that known price, which we already know today, or if the increase is minimal, we may just wait till the third year to purchase it.
Okay. Any other discussion? Clerk, call the roll. You want to say something?
I guess I should just make a comment that I would certainly encourage everybody's support on this, that we've all talked about this for a long time, and these windows are in very poor condition. It's a beautiful building. In fact, I was just walking around down here the other day, and I ran into somebody walking by looking at the window out there, so I had to stop and tell them why that window was different than the others. And they said, well, I think that's a great investment you're making in this downtown. It's a beautiful building, and you need to take care of it. And he had no idea that I had anything to do with the city. I didn't tell him. I just, it was a nice comment to hear from somebody. And so I certainly encourage us passing this.
Okay. Anything else? Clerk, call the roll.
Wolf.
Aye.
Salvati.
Aye.
O'Brien.
I abstain.
Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
McFadden.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Atack.
Aye.
Stark.
Aye.
Chanzit.
Aye.
Motion's approved, 13 yes, no no's, 1 abstention. Very good. Moving then to item 16, a presentation by the Batavia Chamber. Holly Dykeman.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time. Just wanted to talk a little bit about some upcoming events that we have at the Batavia Chamber. But before I do that, I said this last month as well. I went to another great event here in Batavia yesterday and loved every second of it. So many people come together to make great things happen in our community, and I know it takes many people behind the scenes even before the day occurs. So thank you to all those that made the community table dinner come together. We have our Women in Business Progressive Luncheon tomorrow, which is a really cool event. We combine with 4 other local chambers to bring people together, and they switch from table to table at each course of their meal tomorrow. So that should be a lot of fun and a lot of connections made from other local business partners. Every Tuesday in August right here in City Hall, Denny's is hosting a job fair from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So if anyone knows a person that lives in or near Batavia that's looking for a new position at our new restaurant that's coming to town, please have them come right here to City Hall for the job fair. Again, that's every Tuesday in August from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. On Wednesday, August 16th, from 5 until 7 p.m., we're going to have our monthly free and open networking event. We'll be hosting it at Funway this month, and we will be having go-kart races. So if you're a competitive sort and would like to come out and enjoy some appetizers and a cash bar, maybe not too much on the cash bar side before you get in your go-kart, but let us know. We're asking for a $10 donation per attendee, and that will then be given back to Chip In Batavia. It's our Networking It for a Cause recipient this month is Chip In. We thought because it's the first day of school, we should probably give them some money back. So on Friday, August 18th at 2 p.m., we have a ribbon cutting for the newly renovated XSTAM Assisted Living Center at the Homestead. So please join us for that. On Tuesday, August 29th, we have a legislative mixer. There'll be some local representatives together with us in the St. Charles Chamber at the office in St. Charles. So we'll have a little casual setting and be able to have some conversations with some local legislators. And a save the date for you. It's our annual harvest celebration. We have some of our Donna Della Sassi Award recipients in this room. They represent what the Chamber's mission and vision is in our community, and that is going to be on September 20th at Abbey Farms. I was hoping to present to you a nice young gentleman from Denny's to be here with us this evening to talk about their new opening, but apparently they couldn't make it. So I'm sure that they would love to come and talk to you at another time. Any questions for me? Always available and happy to answer any questions, but always remember to shop local and shop often, right here in Batavia.
Any questions of Holly? Thank you very much. Keep up the great work.
All right.
Okay, administrators report, Laura.
Good evening. On Wednesday, August 2nd at 7 o'clock p.m., we had the initial public hearing for the proposed Campana project. And I really want to congratulate the Plan Commission and also the members of Community Development who really organized that meeting in a fashion that afforded the people who wanted to give their opinions a comfortable atmosphere in which to do so, and they really ran a very organized meeting. I also wanted to say thank you to BATV. I think it was very important that we were able to provide that meeting to be televised, and also they came up with the idea of live streaming that on YouTube as well. So I think that that helped to control the number of people who felt it necessary to show up here in person. And then I'd also like to thank those people who came to participate, because everybody treated one another with respect and allowed each other the opportunity to give their heartfelt, honest opinions to both the developer and also to the Plan Commission as they make very important decisions for our community. And so there was not sufficient time for everyone to give their testimony at that public hearing. And so the public hearing has been continued to August 16th at 7 o'clock p.m. And again, the meeting will be televised and also live streamed on YouTube. Also wanted to provide you with an update on our artwork. Things are progressing, although we hit a little bit of a bump in the road with Storehenge, and the brackets that were made for it were flat, and this is a curved piece of art. This is really going to look phenomenal when it's in place, but they need to rework those. It should still be able to be installed in August, as well as Bruce White's bridge sculpture fractal is just waiting for its replacement fixture plate. But again, we're hoping for an August installation of those, and then we can all at once have a nice commemoration celebration of 3 really amazing pieces of art right in the heart of our downtown. Also wanted to let you know that water main construction is underway on along Hart Road from Pine Street to Chillum. And this work should be completed by this Friday, August 11th. The pavement will be temporarily patched and then resurfaced as part of the 2017 road resurfacing program. Also, Streets Division will be replacing a pipe culvert that runs under Hart Road on August 10th and 11th. Message boards have been posted in that area. There are numerous signs that detours are going to need to be established while that work is being done. So on the 10th and the 11th, for most of those days, Hart Road will be closed between Pine and Norcross. Also wanted to remind people that we have a couple of upcoming brush pickup days. On August 14th is the East Side pickup. So please have your items out on your parkway by 7 o'clock a.m. on that Monday, and they'll get picked up throughout the week. And then also on the West Side is the week of August 21st. So hopefully be able to pick up the remaining of all those branches that came down in the big storms, but we're thankful that the damages that Batavia sustained were pretty limited compared to some of our neighboring communities. That's all I had, unless someone has some questions for me. Mark?
On the Plan Commission meeting, so 50 people spoke. How many are left that actually signed up, and are we going to accept more signups at the next meeting?
Joel is not here, and he has the list of the number of people who signed up, so I'm sorry I don't have an answer to that question for you. And I'm not sure, Jeff, are you aware of how many more were left on the list? I feel like we made it through about half.
Yeah, it's about 20.
20 left on the list. Okay, so we made it through more than half.
And I've already had a number of people call me and say they want to come and talk, but they hadn't signed up yet. So, I mean, I'm sure that if we're going to run this in a democratic way, we got to let them all come down and talk. So I would think that there could be at least another whole night, if not 2 more nights of public comment on this before it gets through its public exposure.
Exactly. We will.
Kellen?
The Tomley Building listing for sale,
Yes.
that's generated a lot of interest. I've seen a lot of people out looking at it, measuring out the land and everything. When is that expected to be before us?
It probably will not make it to the committee of the whole meeting on the 15th of August, but perhaps the 22nd.
Thank you.
Other comments or questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, committee reports, community development, Alderman Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. Our city administrator did a great job of announcing most of the meetings, but just to reiterate, the committee of the whole for tomorrow evening is canceled. The next historic preservation is scheduled for 5:30 on Monday, August 14th, and the campaigner certificate of appropriateness for the front building facade is on that agenda at this time. And then the August 15th committee of the whole meeting will include the discussion on inclusionary housing policies and quite a few other items that I think some other chairs will want to discuss. Next Plan Commission meeting, as Laura mentioned then, will be August 16th at 7 o'clock, and that will be the continuation of the public hearing. So I have.
Government services, Alderman H.
Government Services doesn't have anything else scheduled so far for this month.
City services, Alderman.
The only thing that city service had, I believe, will be August 15th on the 2017 street and parking lot patching program. Thank you.
Public utilities.
Your Honor, on August 15th, the Committee of the Whole will be discussing a budget amendment for the fiber installation through Fermilab to Bilter Road.
Okay. Anybody else have something else they want to bring up? Other business? Alderman Callahan?
I just had a quick question for Alderman Brown. Is the historic preservation one, is that going to be televised too, like the Plan Commission? Do you know?
I defer to our city administrator on that. I don't know if that's been planned for or not.
Okay.
It has not been planned for, but if you would advise that we request that, I would be happy to do so.
I don't know. What does everybody think on that?
I wouldn't think it would be a bad idea, but I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
I think if we're televising the one and we had so much significant interest in it, that it might not be a bad idea so that people actually know what it means so that they can speak informed about the historic preservation part of it and how much we can control versus the federal part. And it might be good to just get out there.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, that's an excellent point.
Yeah. Any other comments from the council?
Just very briefly, the gentleman who spoke at the beginning kind of brought up an interesting loophole that I never thought of. Do we ever do spot checks on our special event liquor licenses? Or do we only...
We have in the past. I don't know if we've done any rather recently, but I know we have in the past.
I just don't think it would hurt if we did another spot check.
I mean, there's certain ones like the Windmill City Days out here. The Batavia Police are standing at the front door of the tent greeting you as you come in.
I think Chief wants to make a...
Chief?
If I could add, also for the community dinner we had over the weekend, we had 2 officers assigned to that. So we don't conduct them as a part of our normal compliance checks. We do spot check them with things like that. Sometimes we'll have security actually on hand, staff for those events.
Thank you.
Other comments? All right. Let me talk for a minute under the mayor's report. Laura and I had a meeting this afternoon, and after we had the meeting, I think she and I came to a common agreement that I, in the last few months, have had 3 different people come in here and ask me about the idea of building a hotel in Batavia. And every one of them is a different location. There's no place that's locked in stone. But Laura and I had a conversation this afternoon with a guy who was very interested in pursuing the idea, and it seems to have a lot of issues around it. So Laura is going to spend a few days kind of wrapping her arms around it, and I think our intention, maybe at the next committee the whole week from now, we're going to bring that up as one of the things we'd like to talk to the council about as to how we think we should maybe proceed with it. But in the conversations, I would tell you, I have gleaned from it that what seems to be a real driving force in the conversation right now is all this news about Fermilab and all the stuff that they're proposing to do starting in 2020, building a new laboratory with around 2,000 people doing something, working there or staying around here. And then they're anticipating they're going to have a lot of visiting scientists coming in from other parts of the world to participate in drawings or conversations or whatever have you about it. So we think the time may be ripe for Batavia to attract a hotel. And I've, over the years, I've had any number of residents tell me, gee, my daughter's getting married or I'm having a baby shower or whatever, and there's no hotel in Batavia for anybody to stay. They're pretty nearby, but they're not in Batavia. So this may be the moment when we can kind of help to encourage the idea along. So Laura's going to put together some stuff for us to talk about at the meeting a week from tomorrow. So just so you all can be thinking about that. I tell you that, when you're the mayor here in this rather small town, you do get a lot of people calling up with a lot of different stuff. And most recently, I want to share with you a couple of mayoral experiences. I've had maintenance issues on property, as we've already talked about tonight. It is raising, it's a real, probably more intensified this year than I've ever experienced it. And we've got a couple of downtown businesses that, one of which is closed, or two of which are closed, that had a lot of maintenance issues, specifically weeds and tall grass and washed windows and thistles and all kinds of noxious weeds around it. And we've been sicking the building department on. One has immediately responded and totally cleaned up their place. The other one, we're having a heck of a time. And today I got some more comments about this particular place because now there's some broken furniture that's been spread around the parking lot. But we've got all kinds of stuff that's gathering in people's faces. But then we have the residential person that seems to, now I think we should use this as a point of great community pride, is that probably 99 or 98% of all the houses in Batavia, we can all be very proud of. Everybody cuts their grass, many people plant flowers, hang baskets, paint the place, do anything that needs to be done to really maintain the house. But every now and then we got one that doesn't. And when we have the one that doesn't, they now stick out like the proverbial sore thumb. And I'm not going to name addresses right now, but I got two of them in this town right now, one on the east side and one on the west side, so it's not a one side of the river deal. I've got them that are really in my face about the conditions of these properties. And so Rhonda and I have talked about it several times over the last week, and so we've had several movements where we've talked about coming back and doing something to try to move these folks along. But I will tell you there are certain telltales that some people do that really bring attention upon themselves, and I guess it's a good thing to have because it just shows you how much love and compassion and pride that people have in their town when the neighbors don't keep up the property and they want to call the mayor and tell the mayor about it so I can share it with my well-run community development and building inspection departments. So we're doing okay, but I want you to know that we do have some out there right now that are high on the profile. Another thing I just want to make a mention of, 3-4 years ago, Alderman Brown and his two brothers were kind enough to buy a chess table, and we have it sitting outside here. And this past 2 weeks, there's been a family in town, or they had some kind of a family reunion of a group of folks who came in from eastern Pennsylvania for a big family party. And there's about 3 or 4 cousins that are all, I'd say, under 12 years of age. And they've been coming down here almost every day and bringing their own chess pieces and checkers and playing checkers and chess on the Brown family table outside. So I wanted you to know that's getting used this year. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's been some heavy-duty utilization of the chess table which you gave in honor of your dad. So appreciate that. Probably one of the more interesting things that happened to me last Thursday is I pulled into the parking lot outside here about 10:30 in the morning, and this lady comes pulling up next to me, and right away she's reaching in her pocket and she's holding her phone up. And so I get out of the car and she says, "Mayor, I want to show you what's going on in your town. I made a movie of it." And she had her video on her phone that she could be. So she turns this on, and she's sitting out in the drive-through window at the Batavia Post Office on Mill Street at Randall Road. And she's waiting to get up to the mailboxes because she's got mail to mail. And there's an elderly gentleman in a car, and he's got his hands full of letters, and he's trying to put them into the big box. And he put them in the big box, and as she shows, all the mail falls back out of the mailbox. That this poor old guy couldn't get his mail into the mailbox. So then he opens up the door of his car, and of course his window hits this mail slot, and so that bounces back. So then he pulls forward, and then he gets out of the car, because by this time all his mail is laying on the ground. And so she gets out of her car at that point and goes over and says, "Well, don't put him in this big box. Come over here to the smaller box." And so she finally got the guy's mail mailed for him. So then she goes over with her phone and she puts it inside the mail slot so I could see what it looked like in there. And what it apparently is that the mail slot in the big box out there is designed so that you can't put really big things in there. And somebody had come out with a big box, and they had jammed that baby into that mail slot. And there was all these other letters all around it because you couldn't get anything in. So she says to me, "I don't know what to do. There's mail's falling all over the street out there." So I guess because I have the personality, I get back in my car and I drive out there, and I drive through the mail drive-through thing, and here it is. It's all this mail. There's some mail already laying on the ground again. And so I drove around, parked, and went into the post office and stood in line amongst all the people at the window. Finally, I got to my turn, and they knew who I was. I said, "I need to talk to the postmaster." Well, he wasn't there, but his assistant, who is a really nice gal, they called her, and she comes running over, and she sees me. She didn't even know what I wanted. She says, "Oh, please come." She says, "I'm going to open up the side door and have you come in the office here." So she did. So I tell her this story, and she gets all upset and flabbergasted, and right away she went and got a big basket, pulled it out there, and opened up the mailbox and yanked this blacking package out of the mailbox, and then emptied the mailbox with all the other stuff. It wasn't supposed to be picked out of there for a couple hours, but they went ahead to the Batavia Post Office's credit. But I just share with you, that's the type of thing when you're the mayor of this town that you're getting these days, is the mail won't go into the mailbox. And that was the first one. I had never had that one before. But that's the type of thing that you get into as you get into what's going on around here. So with that one, I'll close. And Alderman Brown, you want to make a motion?
Move we adjourn the city council meeting.
Second.
Moved by Brown, second by Salati. Clerk, take a voice vote.
All in favor?
Aye.